Hello, welcome to Die Rolling. I'm the ever excitable Adam. I'm here today to talk to you about the Pirate Republic, the Africa Gambit, a pretty fun pirate game. And by pretty fun, I mean this is the best pirate game I have ever played. And I've played several pirate games, whether it be the Dread Pirate, whether that be Jamaica, I guess is one, whether that be Skull Tales, whether that be Sea of Legends. I played a ton of pirate games and this is so much fun. This is one of the, it's a long game. I'm going to say that, it's going to take you a while to play this, but it is great. It is basically a sandbox style game where you're going to be going around, getting your own little fleet and just trying to get as much swagger as possible. And yeah, this is going to be a bit of a kind of Kickstarter preview for this game. I've played the game a couple of times. It's been great fun. It's something that it took me a little bit of time to kind of master the rules of this, and I think I played it correctly. So yeah, so this is basically just a Kickstarter preview for this to let you know our thoughts on this. So there's a lot to get through, so I will try to keep this as succinct as possible. I've got the reference card here for, well, my reference, to remind me about all the different kind of things you can do in this. But essentially, you're going to sit down, you're going to have your own pirate, you are going to have a deck of cards. This is a deck building game, so you're going to be adding stuff to this deck. And you're going to either try to get 120 swagger, which is quite a lot of swagger, or it's essentially victory points, but I love they call it swagger, or you're trying to do the global objective. Now, global objective, and they're pretty good because you can play this game as like a one-off. You can just do a one and done. Let's all get together and play pirates and have a good time, like just, you know, attacking fleets and things like this. Or you can do a campaign mode where the winner of the particular global mission you're playing on, you flip it. It basically tells you who wins gets to choose which kind of next kind of mission. So you can do this whole campaign thing, which is great because I've not really seen that in any other really kind of sandbox games that I've played, if I'm honest. I know Western Legends, which is one of my favorite sandbox games, it doesn't have it's got loads of different kind of modes you can play in there, loads of variants, and there is some specific kind of games you can play of it, but there isn't any kind of campaign system. Whether that changes with the new one that's coming out, I don't know. But yeah, so this, I absolutely love the fact that there is a campaign system for this, because this isn't a game that's going to be hitting your table every weekend unless you've got some heavy gamer friends who are going to be spending a while playing this. It takes a while to play. It's not kind of a light game that you can sit down and get done in like an hour. This is going to take you 2 to 3 hours, plus that sometimes depending on the player count. But I love the fact that you can play this huge game with other people and then have this narrative kind of like story that's going on. And the global missions kind of help you, kind of progress through the game quicker, because you've all got this same objective you're trying to do, whilst also trying to do all the other things to get yourself all those lovely swagger points. You also have personal missions that you can use as well. And to win the game, I do have to state, you don't just have to do the global mission, you also have to do your personal missions. So you've got to do those things. But I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. Like I say, there's so many things to talk about. So I'm going to kind of go through some rounds here and talk to you about the structure and what it looks like. I'm also going to be popping up various different pictures during this kind of Kickstarter preview of the various kind of components that I'm talking about. I've got a photo of the board during a setup. The first time I set it up, should be a picture flying up now to show you what the board looks like. The board is huge, really big. Well, I'd say huge. It's not humongous. It's not going to fill up your entire table, but it's a decent size. You've got a victory point tracker going around the outside, which is always good because you can always see where everyone is, which, you know, is sometimes a bit of a bugbear for some people when you're playing a victory point game and you can't quite tell where everyone is. So having that victory point tracker on the board is fantastic because, yeah, everyone knows what kind of position people are in. Tiding cards. So there are 4 things around the tiding cards. The first thing on the tiding card is like an event that is going to be in effect for the entire round. This is pretty cool because it it varies what's going on every time you're playing this game. So you could play the same global mission, but the events are going to be different. And there's quite a few tiding cards in the deck, so you are going to get through quite a lot of different like events as you play this. But it's not really going to feel stale, which is fantastic. Even when I played it, when I got the same kind of event come back out, I wasn't really, I did remember, oh yeah, I played that in the first game, and that really kind of scuppered me. But yeah, I'm not like, oh, this again. You also have a letter of marque. The letter of marque is essentially has some nations' kind of flags up there, and they're going to be neutral to you for this round only. So it kind of helps you when there's been a few times I've been in a tough position and I've been able to kind of get past, the British fleets or something like that, which is pretty helpful. There's also a territory randomizer as well. So there's like a little map in the kind of the picture of a particular island or something like that, and it'll tell you where you're spawning things or doing various different things on there. So that's pretty helpful, and you'll already know this when you're setting this game up, because you've got to draw out like a ton of these cards to actually populate the board to begin with. And sometimes you have combat modifier at the bottom as well. So this will basically help them when you're into the combat. And the combat in this is great because you always have so many different options. And I love that in a game when you're playing a sandbox game that's thematic and immersive, that you have lots of options. You can go in all guns blazing, or you can try and strike fear in there, or you can go up close quarters with your swashbuckling swords. So anyway, so the start of the round, you bring out this tiding kind of card, and it's going to affect the entire round. So it'll help you kind of plan out what you're doing. Then it's the action phase. The action phase is the main kind of phase of this game, and this is where you're going to be rolling kind of the tiding dice, which is a custom dice. Has some different effects depending on what you're doing, but essentially it's going to help you with you moving around the board. But as well as movement, there is also the ability to spawn new kind of enemies and also move enemies. So you can get a white lookout or a red lookout come up on the dice, and when that happens, you're going to have these, you basically move the nearest kind of like enemy or navy ship, or should I say, towards you. And if there's a white lookout, you can actually spend a movement point to get away from them, or you can just engage in combat. If there's a red lookout, well, unfortunately, it's too late. You can't actually escape combat, and you have to fight them. You can also have treasure fleet slave ships as well. During the action phase, there's a few things you can do. You can move, of course. You can scout, so you can reveal face-down land or ship kind of tokens. You can also boast. So when you're boasting, that's when you've completed your personal mission, and you're getting swagger for doing that. You can also, of course, attack. You can also establish a pirate's haven, which is like a little base. You can rest, and you can declare infamy. When you declare infamy, you are using elite cards in your hand and amass landed ship tokens to acquire elite cards. Elite cards are obviously better than your regular cards. There is a market deck, so you'll be kind of like picking up these cards left, right, and center to help you with your turn, because you're playing these cards on your turn. It's also worth noting that you can level up. So when your swagger goes all the way past a milestone, you are basically able to go to the next level of your kind of character. This gives you some special abilities, mostly on initiative. Every time you kind of go up, you're going to be getting better initiative, which helps you during combat. You're also going to be getting special level rewards as well, which are randomized when you play the game, which is fantastic. The combat in this is pretty simple. It took me a few attempts to get this, but there's a really great page in the rulebook which goes through combat for a little kind of like diagram to say, you start here, you go down here, and this is what you need to do. This does take a while to learn. I will say it straight away. It took me a bit of time to get used to it. But once I'd played it a couple of times, a couple of rounds, I kind of got into it, and I was like, right, there's just a flow to this. This is something that is quite intuitive. It's fun, it's thematic, it's immersive. It's everything I kind of wanted in a pirate board game, where you aren't physically going around doing adventures and stuff. You're, living the pirate lifestyle. So that being said, there are some setbacks to this game. So one thing being that this is not a game for, I'd say, beginning kind of players. You do need to have a bit of spare time to play this game. It will take you a while. The rules are well written, but they can lead to some misinterpretations from my experience anyway. But yeah, pretty well laid out rule book. But you are going to have somebody who's read that rule book front to back before you can actually sit down to play this game. Otherwise, you're going to be playing a game and you're going to get some frustrations, because people are not going to know all the rules going in, and you kind of need that for sandbox games because everyone needs to be on the same page and knowing all the different things. When there's loads of different moving parts, it's very hard to everyone be on the same kind of keel. It's worth noting there's no real player elimination in this game, which is fantastic. So when you do take, I think it's two wounds, what's it called? Bloodshed. When you get 2 of those bloodsheds, you're going to basically teleport and lose a bunch of stuff, but you're going to be still, able to play the game. Your swagger goes down to the last milestone, which is fine, to be fair. A few times that's happened, and I've still been able to kind of crawl my way back. And everyone's on the same kind of even keel, so there's been times when I've been ahead. Other players have been ahead, and it's, you kind of got this nice kind of rubber band mechanic going on there. The rulebook, like I say, it goes into a lot of detail, and it's quite simple to follow once you've kind of got the main concepts of the game down. Having a little reference card for everyone's pretty helpful. The actual components for this, we just have the prototype here, and it's fantastic. You have got a really nice kind of dual layered board, so you can place all of your you can move up and down your stats for your ship and stuff like that. You can track all the bits you're doing. The card art is really good. It's very simple. The iconography on there is very easy to understand once you've kind of played it a few times. The combat is quite intuitive once you've, I think with all this is a little asterisk, once you played once you played 2 rounds of this, you're pretty much safe. You pretty much know what's going on, and you can get the flow. But I do think that somebody needs to have read the rulebook in its entirety to be able to teach this. It's not one that you can sit down and just, well, you could just sit down and play this game, but the problem you're going to have is someone's going to be heading this for the majority of the game. And with a lot of these kind of bigger games, that generally happens anyway. Everyone coming to the table is bringing their own experiences, their own, kind of games they've played in the past, which are similar to this or, dissimilar. They might have a ruling they think, in this game it played this way, but every game is its own unique kind of thing. It might have taken certain elements from different games, but, it's its own kind of mishmash of ideas and thoughts and interpretations. So yeah, whenever you play one of these games, especially medium to heavyweight games, there's going to be a lot of interpretation. So the first game is going to take longer than it's advertised. They always do. So I'd recommend, if you are going to play this game, then you do try to play just 2-player to begin with, just to get that nailed. It's great. I started this off by saying this is the best pirate board game I've played, and I'm gonna just say, yeah, this is the best pirate board game I've played. It is so much fun. The deck building mechanics are great. It's really intuitive once you've got into it. Like I say, there is a significant amount of rule learning that has to happen before we can actually sit down and properly play this. But yeah, there's a couple of videos out there online that you can watch which will help you get through those if you are more of a watcher than you are a reader. Hopefully we have to send this prototype copy off to the next person, but hopefully we can get our hands on a full retail version of this and set a day aside and show you guys exactly how much fun you can have with this, because it is great. You get a couple of mates around who are into pirates, and you are going to be swashbuckling to your heart's content. It is so much fun. The events happening every round and the letter of marque is really interesting. I like the fact that you got these neutral factions can come into play. I love the campaign system in this. It's such a good idea. Getting a sandbox game which you can have connected narrative in, it's great. So, is this a buy, play, or avoid for me? This is definitely, well, there's a little asterisk here. I think if you are really into pirates and you are really into sandbox games, this is a buy. Pick this game up. You will not regret it. It is fantastic. If you are more of a casual gamer, or if you don't want a game that's going to take you 2+ hours to play, then maybe this is just a play. It's definitely not an avoid. I'd say if you're into pirates, you're into sandbox gaming, give this a go. But yeah, if you are looking for something that plays in under an hour, there's plenty of other pirate themed games out there that you can play. But this does exactly what it's setting out to do, which is to give you an amazing immersive experience. This is what I wanted Sea of Legends to be like, and it was not that. So yeah, that's pretty much it from me. Hopefully this this kind of little Kickstarter preview has helped you kind of decide whether this is something you should be looking into. Any questions about it, let me know in the comments below and I'll get back to you. But yeah, this is just a really fun game. I can't emphasize enough how much fun I've had playing this, and I'm loath to pass this on to the next person because I just want to keep playing it, if I'm honest. And I'd love to film this for you guys and show you what it's like. I've just not been able to get the time to actually play it and film it, because what I normally do for the channel is basically when we play a game on the channel, we've normally played it at least once or twice to get the rules down. But yeah, I couldn't get anybody free to come and film this with me before I had to send this back. So unfortunately, this is just a Kickstarter preview. I'm talking to you about it rather than showing it to you. But yeah, hopefully this has been informative and helpful. Like I say, if you've got any questions, let me know in the comments below. But if you are interested in this game, definitely go out and back this. It is great fun. So yeah, I'd say it's a buy in the back. Unless you want a game that's shorter, then this probably isn't for you in length. Anyway, I've been the Ever Excitable Adam. Thank you so much for listening to me waffle on about the Pirate Republic, the Africa Gambit. And until next time, guys, stay safe or die rolling.